All right, welcome everyone to the first episode of 4Friends0Logic. My name is Bryson. I have been playing the game for, I don't know, probably like a year and a half. We all started in like December 2022, so like a year and a half. Proquest, last weekend I took Victor Goldmain, high and mighty. Uh, and it went kind of average.
Hello, my name is Jordan. I started the game by playing Bravo, and then I transitioned into Domblade Dory. My Proquest went terrible.
I'm Mao. The ProQuest went pretty well for me. I played Azalea. Everybody knows top tier deck. I'm sure easily discussed in this Discord. But I dabbled a little bit in Viscera. I've also played for about a year and a half.
I'm Sam. I played Bolton at the ProQuest. I don't really want to talk about ProQuest.
Sam's played Bold at every single event that he's ever been at, basically.
Also, Mao did get top 4. I don't know why he didn't mention that, but he did make top 4.
Oh, yeah.
Almost made the finals.
I blocked with Tunic. I swear I would have made the finals.
Unfortunately, he got
I
player
swear I
gapped.
would have made the finals.
He did
Yeah,
get
that's
player
true.
gap.
It's true. It's true.
Player gap for
He's got a few. He's got a few years on me. Come on, okay.
And yes, and he's a top player, and guessing around an overpower, I feel like is hard. I feel like that is not what you're like always.
We're talking
expecting.
about Dagan White. You may know him. He's a bit of a celebrity in this circle.
I'm undefeated versus him in draft. Let that be known. Let that be known.
Very true. This is very true.
I, for one, have never beaten him in any format.
I don't think I have either. Yeah.
I think Sam just likes pain though, so I feel like if he played something that's actually like
Bolton is good.
solid.
We'll get to that. Bolton is good though, but we'll get to that.
Okay,
do we
so
wanna
I
start on
think
the news this
I think we kind of covered who we all play. Let's go into these new card reveals that were just released. Let's talk about these freaking
First one,
specializations here.
This is a Goldmain Estate. I think it's gonna be gas.
Oh, it's 100% gas. If anyone thinks that this card is bad in Victor, I don't know why. This fixes almost every bad matchup that you could have. Like, because the way that you make gold is by clashing, and if in this brute heavy meta, you don't win the clashes with that. Or if you're fucking playing against Kano, which is a god awful matchup. You could make a gold, and this replaces itself. You don't have to clash, because you won't clash with Kano, and if you do clash with Brute, you're just probably going to give them tokens, and that's going to hurt you. But this card is fucking awesome. It's a blue, it blocks 3, it replaces itself, it fixes every bad matchup that Victor could have, so I personally love it.
Yeah, and then also on top of that, you got to talk about the fact that you can run the shield and start with 1 gold already. Do that second gold.
Or
True.
Or Royal. Or both.
Sam, you get points. Sam, bingo, Royal. That is fixing it. I don't even think running, just from my Victor testing and just playing Victor. I mean, I played Victor for like 3 straight weeks. The Titan's Fist and running Autumn's Arm or whatever it is, the gold shield. It's good, and it could be good into like the brute matchup, but if you just run Royal, you already have a gold starting. But honestly, I think this card might just get rid of both of those in your deck. Like, I don't, because like, why you don't even, this is just fucking make a gold. You don't even need any sort
look
of
at
like.
Look at the second part of it.
I don't think the second part applies that often. I don't know how many times.
I agree, Jordan.
Think about if you were the Royal. If you are a Royal variant with the gold shield, and then you played that, you immediately have the effect.
That's too much, and I think that's just
clashed beforehand. How often is Victor not having like any gold? I mean, if you think about like other matchups, like any ninja matchup or like Azalea or something like that, where you're winning a ton,
gold is quite a bit actually.
But I mean, you're gonna have if you're running shield, but if you're running shield, that's -1 gold, and then you get the 1 gold from clashing, because the shield. What I'm saying is like, the shield would make it so you only need 2 because it counts as a gold.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I see what you mean.
So in matchups where it's not Brute or Guardian, I mean, I feel like it's more often than not going to be really, really good.
Here's
I mean,
why
if we look at the other half of Victor, I mean, sometimes you have to use a gold to pop Golden Sun to give it overpower, or even to redo a clash. So I don't think it's necessarily worth saving gold for this card. I think over the course of the game, you're going to be using that gold actively rather than saving it for a might token.
I would probably agree because you're right. You're not just over. Obviously, like the big thing in the deck is fucking the Golden Sun, breaking a gold, overpowering. But like when it's nice because with the Victor ability, if you lose a clash and you could see the other opponent's card on the top of their deck, if it's not like a high attack card, you could just be like, okay, I'm going to break this gold, and odds are I'll just target myself and get a higher attack anyways, because that's what most of the cards are in the deck. But piggybacking off of either running Titan's Fist, running Shield, running Royal, running Titan's Fist kind of doesn't feel great because of the Terra Sunder turns. Like I think having a 7 hammer Terra Sunder feels so much better than just having like a 5 Terra Sunder return, because like even if it's dominated, like the normal deck is going to have enough equipment block and cards to just block that out. So the Terra Sunders with Titan's Fist don't feel the greatest. So I think this card, honestly, I'm excited to test with it. I haven't really played like that open format thing on Talisar yet with it, but I'm excited to test it out because I think you cut out the shield, and I think you might just say fuck it with the Royal Victor too.
Yeah, I mean, it is pretty nice that it's only a 1 cost as well.
Yeah,
I think I'm even more excited for the Olympia one, to be honest.
Yeah, moving on to the Olympia one. This is going to make Olympia gas.
I think this just makes Olympia into his own like fucking hero. Like there was no other reason to play. You could say this about Betsy too, with like the other Guardians that are like available. There's no other reason to play fucking. There's no reason to play Olympia when you have Dorinthia and Kasai right now. This card gives him a whole theme. It gives him a whole new way to play that the game or in CC you really haven't tried before. So it's really cool.
As he is right now, there's literally no reason to play him over Kasai, because Kasai does everything he does, but 100 times better. But the ability to run this and like parry blades or multiple temper chess pieces or anything like that, and being able to completely switch your game plan halfway through the game, like the second cycle, is pretty nuts. And I don't know, like, it might be more hard to sideboard against him if he's literally got to bring 2 different game plans to a game.
And just even in terms of like game design, like this allows them to have like so many more options in the future. Because this is like something that we've never seen before in Flesh and Blood. So like if they're willing to print this card and test the limits, like that just means like some cards in the future could have insane effects.
I mean, Assassin has that one card where you can equip a dagger from inventory, but
yeah,
like
we've
nothing with the equipment like that.
Yeah.
No, nothing like it at all. And it's just gonna be so cool to see like what the actual like meta deck is and like what everyone decides like what equipment they're actually taking in. Because I think people are like, I think you obviously run like as many helmets as you can.
You run at least 2.
But
sure.
I think it's gonna be interesting to see like. Okay, I think they're gonna start out with grains, maybe switch into tunic. What is going to be like the key, like the equipment cards that they're going to switch out in? But this gives Parry Blade like an actual fucking use too, so that'll be cool to see that actually being used. Seeing a fucking hero go from I'm a 2-handed hero and then possibly switching into freaking Decimator Axe for the rest of the game, that just sounds devastating, honestly. So it's so just these slots that they're doing for these new boxes that are coming out. I mean, this is so cool. I mean, these are 2 brand new heroes, and they're already coming out with like really good cards for them in these new expansion slots. And like we knew that this was coming. Like James White said, the Olympia support was coming. Is this going to be is this going to be it though? That's my question. Is there going to be more Olympia stuff coming? What do you think, Sam?
I think this will be it for this box.
I wouldn't be surprised if he gets one more card, because he wasn't finished when they released him, because he had a different mechanic in development and they completely scrapped it, and then they kind of had to rush him out. So I wouldn't be surprised if he gets one more card. I'd like to see him get a weapon that can work really well with this besides Parry Blade, Or Talazar, even though Talazar doesn't really work well because it's a generic weapon, so warrior
Mhm.
I'm
attack
gonna
buffs don't
assume
work
this
on
is
it.
the only card just because of how game changing this will be.
True.
Like the problem we ran into testing when testing Olympia was that we just had all this gold but nothing to do with it. And now that we
Mhm.
have this card, I mean it's completely game changing for in terms of Olympia players and what they'll be able to
I
do.
mean, you could just even think about like bringing in a shield or something too with this. Like this
True.
might turn into like the ultimate fatigue hero that
I mean, you could
people
even bring in
are
Dawnblade if we want to
missing.
get really spicy and try to get some
Yeah,
Dawnblade counters
that would
on
be insane.
That would be
Olympia.
interesting.
That would,
Bring up
I
the
mean,
Dawnblade for a turn or two.
But you'd
Yeah,
have
Yeah,
to
swing
rely
twice,
on.
but if you bring in Dawnblade and refraction bolters, allowing you to pop the boots and swing twice, you are able to get a Dawnblade counter with Olympia.
No, because the ability to swing twice is Dorinthia ability.
No, with refraction bolters,
No, but that just gives it go
if
again.
if,
It's
if
a
the
once
weapon
per
hits,
turn
you can swing
action.
again. All I
Dawnblade,
know is I saw Josh Lau last night testing, and he was able to get a counter on Dawnblade.
I would assume he had to
WoW
use
as
Twinning Blade.
Olympia.
Yes, while as Olympia, he was able to get a
Oh my
counter
God,
on Dom.
what?
That was his goal of the stream, and he achieved it.
I would assume he had to use Twinning Blade.
All I know is it involved refraction bolter.
Yeah,
Right,
refraction bolters only give you go again. It's not going to let you swing the same sword
He
twice.
listen.
There's
All
got
I
to be
know is he
something else
did it. He
also.
did it.
Interesting. Well, if Josh Lau did it, he did it. I mean, fuck, that's
Yeah.
that's insane. But anyways, this card is crazy. Both these cards with this expansion slot, crazy good. Excited to see like what they even come out with next because I mean with this new Riptide spec that just came out too, Sam. If you want to, or sorry, let's talk about the Riptide spec first since I brought it up. But it's so cool to see like just how many expansion slots they're adding and like how applicable they are to all these heroes. Like they're making sure that people are getting support and like this card is awesome. And you know what's crazy is that we went from Olympia, who Sam plays, into another hero that Sam plays with Riptide. So Sam, why don't you talk about this card here?
Well, they keep giving him specializations, and they're like drip feeding him to try to make him stronger because I think he's kind of teetering on the brink of if he's a little too good, he would be absolutely fucking obnoxious to play against. With all of his traps and stuff like that, he'd just be a brick wall.
Mm-hmm.
And then also be able to swing back for 5 or 6 with standard ranger on hits. So I think they're trying to slowly improve him and make him more viable. With Dramai gone, he's actually like pretty viable right now, I think.
Yeah, it helps tremendously with Dramai going. I mean, I think
That
it was one
matchup
of the
was
lowest win
literally
rates on.
unwinnable.
Yeah. I mean, even recently we saw a list that popped off at the local. I mean, at another Proquest that actually won the event as Riptide.
Yeah. And it was Death Dealer with New Horizons.
Yep, that was a list that won a Proquest.
Yeah.
Here's my thought process on this card. I think it's a really cool card. I think the fact the interesting thing I keep running into is the aim counter mechanic, and it's just like Azalea doesn't run aim counter mechanics really outside of like even the new specialization, which is really good. It's just it costs too much. So I guess what I'm thinking here is if Riptide runs more of a red line or a yellow line, what he actually runs, whether he runs blues or not, because it feels like there has to be some hero eventually that they're gonna like make have aim counters be useful. There's just too many cards for it to be um irrelevant, and that's why I thought maybe they do a few more aim counter cards that might give Castaway a chance at seeing some real play. I mean, Death Dealer is obviously great because it's basically replenishing the one cost itself while giving a reload. But I mean, with Riptide, you don't even need to play your bow half the time because his trigger allows you to put something into your arsenal.
Yep.
So they just need to think about, and then if you have that one resource extra from like say you trench something away the turn before, or at the beginning of your turn, say you had a trap in your arsenal and you trench something away, you got that one free resource, so you can flip something over in your arsenal and give it an aim counter like this. So I'm thinking maybe Castaway becomes more relevant. I'd like to see that happen because at this point there's just so many cards that have aim counter keyword on them that honestly feel like they could be really good, but there's just no use for them right now. So as Riptide gets a few more cards, I hope that eventually happens. I mean, I guess Sam's the only one of us who's really played Riptide enough. How do you feel his ratios are in comparison to red, yellow, and blue?
Well, it depends on what deck you're running, but he doesn't run that many blues at all. It's mostly reds and yellows.
Yeah.
And him in the meta right now is actually really good, to be honest, because he absolutely destroys warriors, and there's a lot of warriors in the meta right now.
There's just a lot of his traps that proc his ability, right, where they could actually do damage. And
Yeah, like so many of his traps, like 2 of his best traps trigger on attack reacts or reactions, which would be warriors. So
right.
it just destroys them.
And he has access to Frailty Trap too, and that card is insane against that. And I feel like that it has to be insane against a warrior deck.
Yeah.
But
And one other thing I want to cover is that the quiver that it doesn't get talked about enough. The quiver of Abyssal Depths
Yep.
allows you to shuffle 3 arrows back into your deck, which Riptide are currently using. And
Yep.
if they have this card, which allows them to shuffle traps back into the deck, Riptide can become the
Unlimited
ultimate
traps.
terminal hero.
Yep.
oh my god,
Like,
I've totally forgot about this.
if he's able to shuffle 3 arrows over the course of the game and 3 traps back in the deck, he will almost outlast any hero when it comes to turtling.
Yep.
God, I mean, it's what a crazy meta state it would be to see Riptide fucking
Jordan,
move and
do you have
shift
that? Do you have that quiver? Do you have that quiver pulled up?
Yeah, it's pay 3, destroy Quiver of Abyssal Depths, shuffle up to 3 arrows with different names from your graveyard into your deck.
So they do have to be with different names though. So I don't think
Yeah.
you can do like 3 Murky Waters, for example. Like
No, you can't do 3 Murky Waters, but I mean, this could be a card you put back along with 2 other arrows. I mean, you'll be able to turtle versus. I mean, if you're shuffling 6 cards back into your deck for the course of a game, 7, even if you get this back.
Wow.
and
I mean, you're able to turtle any
and who
hero.
knows? I mean, maybe you're on Remembrance too, especially because it's an instant and it can trigger Riptide ability and load an arrow off of playing Remembrance.
Yes, he could become the ultimate turtle hero in the meta.
So shuffling up to 9 cards back into your deck
Yes,
if you run
that's
Remembrance
actually
is
insane.
pretty crazy.
I mean, I think the thing about with his turtling though is also that aren't his traps all 3 blocks?
Not all, most of them, yeah.
So when you're thinking about turtling, when you have heroes that can dominate and stuff like that and go really tall, I feel like 3 blocks not really gonna cut it for making something.
But
I mean, sure, but even if you dominate, if they have a reaction in arsenal and a reaction in hand,
Yep.
I mean, you're able to block up quite a bit.
I mean, that's still 6 only. If you think of comparison to like Dory or something like that, or Kasai who's running defensive reactions or something, anything that's running defensive reactions heavy and they're actually going for a fatigue deck, it's always going to outbeat Riptide.
But the problem those
Fatigue.
here run into is that they're not able to offer many on hits, whereas Riptide can offer on hits and threaten tokens.
Also, Riptide loves
True.
Also, Riptide loves Dreadbore, so
yes,
it's pretty hard to block out Dreadbore with D-Reacts. Also, Mal, if you have a D-React in Arsenal and 2 in hand, on a Dominate attack, you can block with 3 D-Reacts that block for 3.
Oh yeah, because you can do
1
the
from Arsenal, 1 from hand,
Arsenal,
load, 1
one
from Arsenal.
trigger, 1 from Arsenal. Yeah, that's
so
true.
He could actually become the ultimate turtle hero.
So you can block 9 there.
Yep, with
That's
the
not
effects of
bad.
the traps too, depending on what traps they are.
Yeah, the 9 probably damaging
Like-
3.
Like Collapsing Trap is legitimately one of the best cards in the game.
Oh, 100%.
Collapsing Trap
Is that the
one-
legendary?
It's one of his.
That's the one
legendary
that brings
traps.
you down to it makes it so you don't actually gain anything, right? Is that
no,
that one?
No, that's Buzzsaw. Collapsing Trap is if it's defends a card with Go Again or an attack with Go Again. Opposing hero discards their hand and then draws that many -1.
Yeah.
That card is so good.
Buzzsaw Trap. When this
Yeah.
defends an
Buzzsaw
attack
Trap's
with
pretty
greater
solid,
attack
too.
than its base, it can't gain attack this turn.
Buzzsaw Trap
Yeah,
is the
that's
ultimate
so
Azalea
nice.
counter.
It's
Also,
very nice.
Dorinthia, Dawnblade Dorinthia counter too.
Yeah. So I mean,
Sam,
we talked about
now
it
that
on
you
the side,
Sam, now that you see this new specialization that's coming out for Riptide, I know you've been playing Kasai, but does this make you, and also just him like kind of making like some sort of moves in the meta currently, do you think that you would ever like pilot Riptide, maybe going into Minnesota or staying with Kasai or?
Well, the thing is with Riptide is that he takes 3 Codexes of Frailties and 3 Premeditates, which is about $300.
That Codex is going for insane amount of money right now. I
and
mean,
Premeditates are still like $20 to $25. So for that reason, no. But in the future, potentially.
Fair enough.
Unless they wouldn't reprint. Never mind.
Yeah, I doubt they reprint. But the last thing we want to talk about is the new arms for the new Ranger.
Yeah, so long
about
draw
this,
half glove, Mao. You're the Azalea. You're the Azalea specialist here.
I think it's got Ups and downs to it. I think we've talked about it before. I think the downside to it is that you don't have bracers to actually threaten to go again on bolt and shot, which is how you're getting rid of your hands that are ended up like 4 arrows in your hand. Maybe you have a bolt and shot, you're still able to get 3 off. Say you do with a bolt and shot, load it with your bracers, and then afterwards you can either reload or trigger off of your bow, where you're able to get 2 to 3 arrows off. But the plus side of it is you are getting more damage out of 1 arrow. So maybe it depends on what arrow you actually have in your what you're actually trying to load, I guess. But definitely has ups and downs. I love that it has 1 block, but I feel like it won't see as much play as we think it may, purely just because Bolt and Shot's such a good card.
Some may say it's
It
too
costs
good.
2.
Some
It
may
does
say it's
cost
too good.
a card from Arsenal, which you're not really wanting to get rid of when you're playing Azalea. So you're really just wanting to, at this point, put 2 cards from your hand to the bottom of your deck. So at that point, you have 2 cards in hands. If you don't block, maybe you got a Tunic turn and you have 1 card in hand. It might be okay.
I think
But
this is
I
going to
don't know.
be these are Riptide arms. These aren't Azalea arms, in my opinion.
Oh,
I could see
okay.
that. I could see that.
Because
Yeah, because if we're talking about fatigue, I feel like this matches what he's trying to do right now, right? Like,
I mean, yeah, if you have a 0 cost arrow in hand in hand, and then you just like played a trap or 2 traps, and you ruined an opponent's turn, and then you break this, and then you can come in for 8 or 9 on an arrow, like after
Yeah.
blocking out and having them deal with traps. Like that can be a huge pivot turn for Riptide.
So are you thinking like, okay, so you have a trap in Arsenal and you're using a trap in hand. So in an ideal situation where you're having 5 cards, you end up using the trap from Arsenal, using the trap for hand. You have 3 cards left. You think 2 cards down, play 1 card from the 1 arrow you have there. It's still gonna only be like a 7, wouldn't it be? Oh yeah, that's an 8. No, you're right, an 8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean,
I mean that's still pretty nice.
in late
Yeah,
game,
you're
like
right.
if you have a D-reacted hand in Arsenal, play one from Arsenal, play one from hand, load the arrow, and then break this, discard 2 cards, and now you have an arrow that's coming in for +4. I mean,
Can Riptide does Riptide trigger off instant too?
yeah, anything that's played from hand.
Okay, so when you break these
No,
arms,
He
you
will
wouldn't be
not
able to.
reload. No.
no, it has to be played
Okay,
from hand.
so in that situation, you would have to have the arrow in your arsenal
Well, that's
already.
what I'm
Then.
saying. Like you would play D-react from Arsenal, D-react from hand. Off the D-react from hand, you load the arrow, and then on
Oh
your
yeah,
turn. Because late game, I mean,
yeah, that makes sense.
there's a chance that you have a bunch of traps left, so you might have a hand of traps, and you want to threaten more damage. So you
Yeah,
break
no, that
that
makes
with a
perfect
pump arrow.
sense.
I mean, one of
Yep,
the big
yep,
reasons
that
for this
sounds
card
good.
is like people have been talking about like it's an instant.
Mhm.
So if you do get Spinal Crush and you only have 1 action,
Yep.
you are able to play this and still have a buff for that turn.
Yep.
Whether that's better or not than the other bracers right now over the course of a game, I mean, we'll have to see. But with it being an instant, there does offer some reasons you would run this over.
And warmongers too.
Yeah.
And on
oh
Azalea
yeah,
specifically, I guess you'd also have to weigh in the fact that either way, you're only getting 1 use out of both the bracers and that, but that also has the 1 block. So I could see them both being useful. It's just gonna see which one feels better. It might depend on what deck you're running as well.
no,
If you're trying to
Sam,
go tall or wide.
It makes so much more sense that now you say that it should be in Riptide because like what does Riptide even get a lot of value off of Bullseye Brazers because of Riptide ability? Like if you're playing a card from hand and loading
No.
something into your arsenal anyways, like
Yeah.
that I feel like they don't get a lot of value off of Bullseye to begin with. So that I didn't really think about that. It makes a
No.
whole
I
lot
mean,
more sense.
you can use bullseye bracers like same as Azalea. It's really good on bolt and shot because bolt and shot is a card that just a little overpowered, I think. But but I do
Plus
think that
1 to go again.
I do
Yeah.
think that this is really, really, really good in Riptide. And plus, there's another block to help him. Because also, Riptide equipment block is terrible. Which is
I
fair,
mean,
'cause
it's
he's
just
a
Ranger
ranger.
in general.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I do think it'll be a staple in Riptide. I don't see I really don't see Bolt and Shot being super great in Riptide. I'm not Bolt and Shot.
Bullseye bracers.
Bullseye.
Bracers, yeah, bullseye bracers. Mainly because also on top of that, a lot of them that I'm seeing are either running Death Dealer or, like Sam said, Dreadbore, and Dreadbore already triggers off that +1, so you're not really needing bracers if you're ever running the Dreadbore.
Yep.
So that equipment just makes sense for Riptide.
Yeah, I think we could potentially see a feature even at Nationals potentially where Riptide may see more play, just because of some of the support he's getting.
Cool.
I think
I do like that. I like a little bit more wider variety.
People are gonna get knowledge gapped by that so hard. I feel like, and not like when he procs and does damage to them with his freaking ability. I feel like that's gonna fuck people a lot. But
could you imagine if his ability did 2 damage instead of 1? That'd be so crazy.
Oh my god,
overpowered as hell.
Yeah, that's very yeah. I mean,
Just a blood
okay.
rot off crap. Oh god.
We want to talk
Anyways,
about.
let's talk about these ProQuest
yeah,
wins
week
here.
2
So,
ProQuest.
I mean, top 5 here. I mean, I don't think anyone's too surprised by KO, Azalea, Prism, Victor, Kasai, Rhinar being up there with those guys, though. That's kind of surprising. I mean, maybe not surprising because with the Guardian Rhinar, with the more like blocking and D reacts and you're relying off an intimidating like always, but that does surprise me seeing him have 8 freaking wins. That's crazy.
I think Reinhardt's insanely underrated right now.
I really like Rhinar right now. I feel like KO's getting a lot of more play because KO's just hands down easier. But the things Rhinar can do with his Intimidate it's just crazy as well.
It's crazy because what's wild about all this is that when we were talking about brutes even like a few weeks ago, maybe like less than 2 weeks ago, of who the worst brute was, and everyone was saying Rhinar was the worst brute. And now that we're seeing him, he has more wins than Levia here Levia by quite a few. So maybe is.
I think you have to look at percentage played. Like I'm sure a ton more people played Rhinar than Levia.
You're probably
we could
right.
see the numbers for how many played each. I mean, I think it is surprising that Rhinor's at 8. I mean, we knew he was good, but considering like the play rate, I didn't think it would be that high. And for him to convert to 8 wins, I mean, is honestly kind of impressive compared to some of the heroes below, like Dorantia and Katsu, who I would assume had more wins than him.
Yeah. I would have assumed Katsu for sure, but.
Yeah, I would have assumed Dorantia 100% would have more wins than Rhinar. I mean, I feel like every time I boot up Talsar, I'm fucking just running into a billion of them. But I mean,
I think I've only played against one Rhinar in the last month.
And also, I mean, and the other surprising thing about this to me is Teklovasen. I mean, with 5 wins. I mean, and I think Mech is probably, you could argue Mech is like one of the worst decks to pilot right now just because of like all the bad matchups that it has. I mean, Brute is a horrible fucking matchup for Mech. Maybe not so much Teklovasen, but like for Max and Dash and anyone that's running a whole bunch of fucking items. Teklovasen.
Mech's great in the Prism though.
Mech is insane, or at least Dash IO and Max are insane in the Prism. Yeah. The only way I can think that Teklovasen won 5 times was at those ProQuests. It must have been half Prisms and half Kanos, because if he played against a Kano, he should just lose.
Yeah, so you think there just were no Kanos there, or at least he just didn't get matched up against them.
Or they don't get matched up against them because there were so many Prisms to then take out the Kanos. Because
I mean, when it comes to turtling, like if you're playing Axe Dory or just any of these slower lists, I mean, Teklo will win over the course of a game if he gets Singularity off.
Oh, 100%. Because even in the Azalea matchup, where Azalea completely shits on Teklovasen, if he can get that equipment out fast enough, man, the 3 blocks on all of his equipment, it's hard to get over. And the fact that he can just re-equip it if he gets something else, once it gets down to 2 blocks, he really has potential to do stuff. But I could see it be like, I'm still surprised that he got 5 as well. I mean. He does, in the grand scheme of things, I'm not really worried about seeing a Teklovasen. The fact that he got 5 wins is baffling to me.
I'm just going to assume
it's kind of scary.
I'm just going to assume that people won on him because like, because if they play against Kano, like on our ProQuest, there were 5 Kanos or 4 Kanos,
5 or 6 Kanos,
and
yeah,
then there were
yeah.
4 or 5 Prisms as well, or 5 or 6 Prisms.
I think
So
there were
like,
6 prisms.
yeah, and like Prism like shuts Kano down. Like Kano cannot beat Prism. But Teklevossen, as far as I know, can't beat Kano. So I
I don't.
mean,
There's no way around it, right? Like, what is
The
the way
list
around it?
the list at the local scene was able to get 2 or 3 AB through equipment. I think
and,
2. I think 2 AB through equipment.
and then do they just not run Singularity and stuff?
That I mean, I didn't look too far into his list, but I know he was talking about that he was able to get 2 or 3 AB through equipment still.
Well,
Which I mean,
also,
I'm sure that matchup's still unwinnable, but yeah.
it's interesting because like you could also. I don't know who I was talking about with this. I don't remember. It was one of you. So we could fucking like think about it. You could just AB 4 equipment with Teklevossen and maybe just like run fucking boost cards or something.
Yeah,
I mean,
because you run so much blue, like
yeah.
I was thinking into the Kano matchup, unless you just chalk that one up as unwinnable and don't tech for it at all, which is possible. But I don't know how much sideboard Teklevossen, like how much room they have in their sideboard, but
I also don't know how much.
just run AB3 or AB4. Just I mean maybe
Right.
AB3 and Tekla Foundry Heart or something like that.
I just wonder how much
just
boost
turtle.
they're even running in the decks now too, because I feel like how do you attack if you don't boost in that deck if you don't have evos?
Well, I think they're just waiting through, hoping they play against these slower decks.
Yep.
Yeah,
I think the one at our
Jordan's
local scene
100%
was
right.
literally just equipping and getting Singularity off, and that's how he was winning.
Mhm.
I mean, he even
That's
was
a
able
good
to get
point.
Singularity off a Katsu that he went against.
I don't
and
know how
just
I
won
don't
the
know
game.
how they did that. I do not know how.
That's
they did
crazy. That's actually insane.
That. Also,
Yeah.
I don't think Katsu's as good as he was, especially now that Dramai is gone.
I could agree with that. Yeah, I could agree with that too. I mean,
Are you still thinking he's the best ninja?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's not even
I mean,
close.
Faye doesn't even come close.
even at our local ProQuest, the ninjas did pretty badly. I mean, I don't know if was there a single ninja in the top 8. I mean, was there a FaB that was in the top 8?
Yeah, there was a
maybe?
FaB in the top 8. Yes.
Yep.
Okay. So besides that, I mean, I don't think. I mean, I don't. There was one ninja player that I don't think won a single game there. No shade, but like that, I don't think they did very good. Like Ninja did a very good job at the
Yeah.
ProQuest, but
I just think with all these mid-range decks, like you can play Victor pretty mid-range or like block 6, swing for 6. Kasai is literally the definition of mid-range. Reinhardt, you literally play him like a guardian. Dorinthia, you can play super mid-range on hatchets, and like if you play against a Katsu and he comes in for a 5 attack surging strike and he just blocks 6, all of a sudden his turn is like significantly worse. It's so much worse. Unless he just has the nuts in his hand. But like being able to just turn off that surging strike and the ability to search off the surging strike is really big.
It's been nice to know like since we're just playing a lot of Katsu players at our local armory, just kind of hearing them talk about like where to block. I feel like that's helped me a lot, just knowing when to block against a Katsu, because if you like you said, blocking the surging strike is so key. I mean, they have to pay 2 resources for it anyways, and if they can't get their combo ability off of it, it's hard. I mean, I feel like it just shuts them down, like you said.
That's why that matchup sucks in a Bolton for Bolton, because you have to block that surging strike or the first attack, and that can take 2 cards, and then now you're playing Bolton with either a 2 or 3 card hand, which is impossible.
Yeah, with this being said, I don't think Katsu's bad at all.
No,
I mean, obviously,
no.
Yeah, with bonds, I mean, we saw a turn that did 37 damage.
Yeah, he had quad bonds. I think he quad bonds twice at that ProQuest.
Yeah. So I mean,
double quad bonds.
Yep.
That was crazy.
Teklo has is that he just may be knowledge gapping people.
That's true. I mean, that's 100% true.
Like people were literally they had to stop and read the cards because they just did not know what Teklo did. So, yeah, I think that could be.
That's a very good point. It's just 5 wins is a lot of wins, and that I maybe not expected, but if I saw wins at all, I maybe like 1 or 2. 5 is a lot. One thing that I want, probably the last thing I want to talk about on this page here. It's crazy to see like all these kind of lower tier heroes make a jump and then see Azuri Switchblade not really have any sort of representation at all.
Yeah, that is
and Bravo
interesting.
And Bravo Showstopper too, but no, and like there's people that are saying that Azuri is gonna be like a really fucking top deck coming out when Part the Mistveil comes out, but it is interesting to see her be so low. I don't think she's necessarily great into this meta, but like I mean, just to see like how many people have switched off of her. Apparently, I mean, I don't know.
It's because of Prism. If they give
True.
Assassin more effects,
Yeah.
if they give Assassin more effects that say can't be prevented, she'll be good again, in my opinion. Because then
Yeah,
that
agreed.
matchup for Prism turns from a free win into a fucking nightmare for her, in my opinion.
Right.
Go ahead, Bryson.
No, I was just saying Illusionist in general was always just horrible against like just playing Azuri. Like Dramai was almost like that was a horrible matchup, probably the worst matchup you could run into as Azuri. I mean, you're right, Sam. You don't necessarily need go again cards to clear the angels that are coming out. If they just come out with cards that say damage can't be prevented, that fucking destroys Prism. So hopefully they do. I mean, I feel like Assassin needs like some sort of like deck in the game that they could counter like that, and I feel like that would be like a good lore thing that they could do, honestly.
I just oh wait, Matt, go ahead.
My question was on this sheet. You know how it says other heroes 9? Is that
those
ordered?
are all the heroes that got 1?
Okay, so they all got 1 here. Okay.
One or less than 4, I believe.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That was my only question.
I think it is surprising though to see Riptide at 4. I mean, we did talk about how good he is and how we saw one of the lists win, but I mean, to see Riptide above some of these other heroes is like surprising.
Especially without the
Riptide
new
above
tech.
Bravo seems insane.
I mean, even
considering
Viscerai, we
Bravo
saw
is such a
Viscerai perform well in
staple.
Atlanta.
There were 2 Viscerais in the top 8 at the Proquest locally here.
And only to see less than, I mean, maybe that's play rate, but I mean, I just assumed Viscerai would perform better.
I bet it's play rate,
Agree.
honestly.
Yeah, I could see that.
Mm-hmm. It's just the meta is always changing right now. I don't like when we were playing a year ago, it was not fluctuating this much. It's so cool to see it fucking change like this all the time. Like I mean, one thing, Levia with only 4 wins too. We were talking about like how good Levia is, and like she probably is like a S tier top deck in the game. But not a lot of people pilot her, and it's a hard hero to learn. Like you have to have a lot of finesse to like pilot that deck and actually be good at it too. So I think maybe just like low player rate and just not having. I don't know. It's just kind of hard to pilot her, and maybe these newer players aren't really going towards that, and that's maybe why we're seeing so many KO now. I mean, because it's easier, and newer players are kind of gravitating towards that. So, but I think that's kind of. Does anyone else want to talk about anything on this?
Do we want to talk about our own Proquest, or should we just?
Yeah.
Go into
Good idea. Good idea. I'll just start. I'll start with mine. So yeah, I played Victor Goldbane for Proquest. I think I finished 2 and 3. Yeah, no, I finished 2 and 3. Like we talked about already, heavy Prism, heavy Kano. Prism is not like an unwinnable matchup. It's hard. I didn't see any Prisms, but the Kano matchup, even if you brought AB3 and teched into it like I did, is just fucking terrible. Like it's god awful. The win rate is in the 30% on February. Like it is god awful. And seeing 5 or 6 Kanos at this Proquest, and I matched up in my first game against a Kano into the guy, one of the guys that top forward. He massacred me. He fucking killed me. I think he got his Aether Wildfire combo turn off and opted 9 cards on that combo turn. I was at 35 health when his combo turn started, and I think I was at like negative 15 by the turn end. It was fucking insane, but I just couldn't do anything. Not good in that respect. My second game, I got into a Katsu, and that's a really good matchup for Victor, so I won that by, I think, 7, so I think it was 7-0. And then the next 2 games were super interesting because they were both mirror matchups, and really it's going to come down to who is going to clash and win over the other Victor, and that's who the winner is going to be. So the first game, I was not winning my clashes. I actually had a Pulverize stuck in my fucking arsenal for a long time. I had a really fun clash in that game, though, where I clashed and won on a trounce, a golden sun, so I was going to make a lot of gold, and then the other Victor decided, oh, okay, I'm going to break my gold and then win the clash. So that was crazy. We both screamed at that, but I lost that game because he won more of the clashes, and I had that pulverize stuck in Arsenal for so long. But the second game, right into another Victor game, and it was all about the clashing. I won virtually all the clashes, and won by a decent margin, I feel like. And then the last game was KO, and KO really can go 50-50. I saw all 3 cast bones that game, and it felt fucking horrible. So I think it was a closer game still. I think it was like 8-0, but I really don't think I was pressuring him at all, and like respectfully. So 2-3, not terrible, but like that was not what I wanted to see, especially Kano. Prism's fine, but Kano is almost fucking just unwinnable. So that's how I went. So
I can talk about mine because there's not much to talk about. So I started the day. I played a Kano. Not what you want to see. Well, I'll start by saying I played Dawnblade Dory. All right. So a second before the event started, I swapped to Dory.
Yeah.
There was no reason to do this. I went into the event thinking I was going to play KO. And then as the judge is going over the rules, I swapped to Dory. Probably the worst mistake of my life to do that, considering the matchups I saw and just how the day went overall. With that being said, I started the day. I saw a Kano. Just not something you want to see on Dory, especially when you only have 1 AB. I was able to get him down to 1, but I did lose that game. Second game, another Kano. This one I was able to beat. One of the advantages of Dawnblade, though, is that they sideboarded thinking I was Axe or Hatchet. So when I flipped over Dawnblade, his entire sideboard was wrong, so I was able to win that one. Third matchup, I went against Axe Dory. That matchup's literally impossible. I think he 40-0'd me.
It was Decimator Great Axe Dory, not
Hatchet. Yeah, Axe Dory. He might have even beat me worse than 40-0. I'm not kidding, because he may have sigiled and beat me worse than that. The next matchup was a Prism. So I just really didn't play FaB this day. Prism, turn 2, they double tomed me. Got 2 ALSs in their hand. Had a Rebirth out, so I fist bumped him and I just walked away. That was pretty much a scoop.
I talked to him, that guy that did that to you on was it yesterday or no? Yeah, yesterday or day before. And he was like, I felt so bad after that. He was like, that's why I don't bring this deck to like armories.
Yeah. So I fist bumped him and walked away. So 4 games in, I've yet to play FaB. And then going into my final game, I played an honest Katsu player that I did win. So I'd like to say I went 1-0 on the day, but overall I went 2-3, and I don't know where I placed.
Before we move on, I want to talk about the Decimator Great Axe Dory list. I just want to sit there. Why does anyone want to pilot that deck just to sit there for an hour plus and be like, okay, whoever wins is going to be whoever has the most card in their deck by the end of this fucking game, dude. Like, that's so bad. Like, that is so wrong. Like, I hate that. The game will always go to the limit. It'll always go into somebody decking themselves, and it's always going to matter on who has more cards in their deck versus who doesn't. Like, that's such a stupid way to play the game. That's it, really. Sam, why don't you talk about...
Decimator Great Axe is my most hated deck in the game by a pretty large margin. Yes. I just hate it. I think it's boring to play. It's boring to play against. I'm sure it's fun to win.
Yes, I'm 100% agree.
It's awful.
Fun to win, but at what fucking cost, my man? Like, I just don't. It's such a long, and not only just for the 2 people playing the game, but if you're taking that to an armory, we're always waiting on you.
Well, I mean,
we're always waiting on you to finish. Like, why take? I just don't get it, bro.
With that being said, this was a Proquest, so I do understand it. If you really want to
take what you think is the best deck.
True. I mean, I'm not. I agree.
I don't like the play style of it either. I think it's very boring and uninteractive. I don't know, like I get it's fun to win, but at the same time, sometimes I think it's hard to, when you're playing something like that, does it really feel like winning also,
to our listeners, let that be known that this is the Azalea player talking.
I'm just saying.
Who will 15 dominate a red in the ledger? and then complain about other decks being oppressing. So I just wanted our listeners to know that was our
Oh,
and then he says,
God,
"Well, at
it's
least
so
you can
true.
respond." It's like, no, I can't. I blocked with my entire hand for 6 turns in a row.
Yeah.
How do you block with
respond.
your entire hand if I'm dominating something, man?
So
Come on. We all know you can only block with one card, man.
At
You
that
still
point,
can
it's even
swing
worse.
back.
Let's talk about your ProQuest, Sam. Let's see
Yeah,
how
talk
you
about
went.
your Proquest,
I played
Mal,
Bolton.
top 4.
I played
Or
Bolton,
Sam.
and I wasn't confident about it at all going in because I realized Bolton is actually pretty awful into the warrior side of the meta. Being Kasai is extremely hard. Azalea, not a warrior, but Azalea is next to impossible. Dorinthia really hard. Great Axe Dory is really, really hard. But besides that, I got there and I heard there were 9 to 11 total Prism and Kano players.
Here we go.
And I was like, oh my god, I have a chance to win a lot today. I love, as a Bolton player, love playing as Prism. I love playing as Kano. I'm pretty teched for Kano. Soul Bond does so much work for me in Kano.
You want to talk about why that matchup's so good for you versus Prism?
Sure. Well, with Prism, first of all, one of the benefits of Bolton is without sideboarding, in my deck, I'm running 6, 7 attacks. So Prism's -1
tenacity.
Herald doesn't really affect me at all. So I have access to all those. If there's ever a turn where I block with my whole hand, I can swing Raiden for 0 and kill an aura. If I get Prayer or Spirit of Irina out, then I can get around ALS with just Luminas.
Yep.
So there's lots and lots and lots of ways for me to just play around all of Prism's like combat tricks. That being said, first matchup of the day, I match up against the only other Bolton in the entire thing. We had a gentleman's agreement. We decided neither of us were going to play combo because we both hate combo. And we played Raiden. He beat me, and afterwards he said, it's only because I went second. Or only because he went second and I went first. If I went second, he thinks I would have won. I had a massive V the Vanguard turn against him for like 25, I think. But towards the end of the game, he just kind of, he played better than me, and going second kind of killed me. And then after that, I go into my worst matchup, Katsu.
Is that the worst matchup you could ever run into?
Yes. Yes.
I wonder what the win rate is on FaB. I'm gonna look it up.
It's that matchup sucks, and you basically have to run. I'm under the impression that you basically have to run combo into it because with Raiden, your big turn. If you get your maximum Raiden turn off with, or maximum V the Vanguard turn off with a V double charge into Beaming Blade, Raiden, then that's 28 damage. A Katsu will eat all of that and throw back even more than that. So it just doesn't matter to them. And also that turn takes like multiple turns of setup. So you kind of have to run combo against them. At least that's the mentality I went into the event with. And I actually had him down to, he was in the 20s for health, and I had double Lumina set up, and I was like, okay, I can actually maybe get this. And then he played Bolton's biggest kryptonite, which is Command and Conquer, targeting my arsenal, which of course there was a Lumina in there. And I blocked 6, and then he played
I love this.
and then he played Artivore out of Arsenal and gave it +1. I played the game out. I don't know why. I should have scooped right there. Because the game is now impossible.
So tragic, dude. I mean, that is literally so tragic.
And he sat across from me and he laughed and laughed and laughed. I'm sure he thought it was fucking hilarious.
I was right there. It was funny, man. It was funny. I'm not gonna lie.
So the win rate for Katsu v Bolton's 47%. It is low.
Those are bad
the
Katsu players then.
The lowest in the current meta is 33% with the Riptide matchup.
Yep.
That's not really surprising, but the buff to CNC to kill the Lumina is hilarious.
I should have just scooped. But played it out and lost. No surprise. And then I got matched up into another Katsu. Again, for the second event in a row on Bolton, I got paired back to back in the Katsus. Isn't that awesome, guys?
That is unfortunate.
And
Yeah.
this time I just said fuck combo, and I was like, I'll just try to race him with Raiden and see what happens. And I actually got that game, but my opponent had literally the worst brick hand possible at one point, which was and it was on a pretty wide turn for me, so his game was fucked after that. He had Art of War, reinforce the line in his hand, so he literally can't block for anything. He can't activate Art of War. He can't activate Art of War to draw cards, I should say, because he doesn't have any attack actions. So after that, the game was done. Like, I beat him like 15-0 or something like that, but that hand, like, if you get that hand as Katsu, it's pretty much impossible. And then after that, I played against and then I went into a Kasai, which is my second worst matchup. Lost. It was pretty close, though. I just had a couple of hands that completely slowed my game down and couldn't catch back up because Kasai is so consistent and she blocks so well, especially against Bolton. Like, she doesn't buff any of my things. She has access to the boots and can just block with like my 4 attacks. She blocks with a card from hand and boots, and she full blocks me, and then my turn's done.
Yep.
That's another thing where you can run combo into. You can run super mega combo, which is pitch stacking and then praying. And then you output like 68 damage, I think, with Oath of Steel combo, but I don't even run that anymore. And then after that, I played against... I can't remember what I played against after that, honestly. At this point, I was blacked out.
Yeah, top 8 was out, so I
Blacked out, not there, just gone. This is a terrible day. Besides our top 4 Mao.
What did I play?
I think that was the last one, Sam.
Well, I didn't have a bye. We played 5 games, didn't we?
Yeah.
So Kasai, Katsu, Bolton.
I don't know, man.
I don't know who my last one was, but I won it. I won it.
You don't even know what game you won?
Can't remember. I won 2.
It was
I won
a nightmare
2.
for him.
I won 2.
Yeah,
games.
I know, but like it's a win. I just feel like he would remember if you won the game.
Whatever. I won.
He'll think of it. He'll think of it.
I'll think about it.
All right, Mao, tell us about your top 4 adventure.
Tell us about your top 4 with your broken ass fucking meta.
Your fucking broken.
Sorry, good job on top 4.
Thanks, man.
Your performance was admirable.
My first game was against Kasai, which is a pretty okay matchup. I mean, most of the time I don't really feel that pressured into it. I think the guy who I was playing against played it pretty well, or he drew pretty solid hands, because it ended pretty close. It was like, I think I won 4-0 on that one, and it came down to like the last turn, him not being able to block like 1 damage off my endless arrow. So I took game 1, and then I went to game 2. At this point, I was counting the prisms. Prisms and Kano. The prisms and Kanos. Don't particularly like either one. Got into the prism matchup. Man, I had never beat this prism player ever. I was expecting a quick 1-1 there going into the loser's bracket. But thankfully, he did not draw ALSs. Probably the most busted card in the game, by the way.
Is the most busted card in the game currently.
But
I disagree, but we'll talk about that.
You think the Angel is, but it's ALS.
I think it's ALS. But the main thing that really got me through that was
That's all right.
was the Murkmire the grapnel, which it makes it so damage can't be prevented. Definitely a star in that matchup. Love to see it shine.
Where did you get
won that
one?
from?
Yeah, wait, where'd you get that tech from?
Sam actually told me to tech it in because I had some space in the deck. And then I went to the Azalea Discord, and it's just universal. It's in the sideboard now just because of how many prisms we're seeing. It's basically the only way that you're going to get through and damage prism consistently. So anytime you have a knock, instead of getting read the ledger, which is really weird, a lot of the times if you have 3 pumps, you just go for a merc. But so that's great. That game I won. Very, very, very close game. I won 1-0. Then I went into my game 3, which was against another Prism player. This guy ended up actually tying for first, so they split. And he proceeded to ALS me, and that's kind of how that game went. I lost like 9-0 or something like that, which is how I expect all the Prism matchups to go. And then my 4th game, I played against Dash. It was just standard Dash, Innovator Dash. It was actually pretty solid. He had this one card that made it so I could only, I don't know what the card's called. I could only do 1 non-attack action per turn. Sam, do you know what card I'm talking about?
Um.
It comes with 2 steam counters on it.
Oh, wait. Oh, it was against. Who was it against?
Dash.
And you can only.
I can only do 1 non-attack action.
Oh, yeah. That's such a fucking. What's one of those Met cards that. One of the millions of Met cards that literally is only used for 1 matchup, maybe. Let me look it up. Keep going.
But yeah, so he played that card. It honestly it shut down 2 of my turns. Well, shut down 1 of them for sure. The second one, I was lucky. I drew a decent amount of arrows, and I had a bolt and shot in hand. I decided it was a perfect time to buff 1 bolt and shot. Then I had another bolt and shot in hand. I just decided to break my bracers there because if I can't use pumps, I might as well try to get the turn to go wide. That game I ended up winning 1-0 also. It was a very narrow victory. Then following that, I played Hatchet Dory. I played against Hatchet Dory. He placed first as well. They split, and I did not get enough dominated arrows going in. Just wasn't in the cards. I think I dominated Spire sniping 3 times.
Hell yeah.
Not what you want to see. But the first game, he won pretty easily. I think I got 20 health out of him. Then going into that, I narrowly made top 8. I literally placed 8th. And then played against the first place player who was playing KO. And I just feel like he wasn't super experienced in the matchup. I feel like he didn't know a lot of what my cards did. He was reading a lot of the cards, which is understandable. But it doesn't help that he chose to go second, and I also had a really good first turn hand where it was a
Chose
pump.
to go second.
Yeah, where it was a pump, and then I had a knock, and then 2 arrows. So basically, pitch 1 arrow to put another arrow in with Death Dealer, drawing another pump, and then I had 2 pumps, and then a knock, and then 1 floating resource. And so I just fatigue shot at him for like 11 turn 1, dominate, and he had no agility token at that point. So
Balanced hero.
kind of bricked his first hand, and then after that he just couldn't really find the tempo to come back, and I was just drawing gas. Then he hit me for like 7 or 8, and I just eat it because I just come back with more, and that's just how that one went. And then I went against Hatchet Dory for my last game, was for second place. Really wanted that mat, but I played against the same guy, and
Dagan White.
yep, Dagan White, and I did considerably better in that one. I did draw pretty gas that game as well, but I went into it with a different strategy. I didn't sideboard as much as I did the first game. I just kind of kept it at as close to 60 as I could, and then just focused on dominating. And honestly, probably potentially, like, I blind Azalea a few times in that matchup, just thinking, well, if I hit him with a regular arrow, it's not going to work. So if I just blind Azalea and I miss, I'm just going to load Death Dealer and hopefully he blocks something, gets something out of his hands. But he ended up taking it 4-0 off an overpower. But it was a very close game. So I finished the Proquest 4-2.
4-3.
3.
Yeah.
Yeah, 4-3. 4-3. He's right. Yep.
Mao, the card you're thinking of is Signal Jammer.
Oh my god, what? I fucking totally forgot about that card.
Each
Yeah,
hero
it's very
can't play
good in
more than one
Azalea.
non-attack action card per turn. Yep.
I didn't know it was each hero, but so I was definitely not paying attention to his, but I'm sure he was playing it correctly. But man, that definitely works really well into Azalea.
Do you want to go into the tier list?
Well, hot damn, let's go right
All right,
into this
let's make
new
the
tier list that we're going
Let's
to do.
snap through this. So we
to our
already went ahead
listeners,
and put this at the top.
I want to talk. I actually want to talk about the top hero because I think it's debatable again. But
I don't.
anyways, we tried to do this the first time and we did it, and there was just no sound
And
that
Bryson
came
fucking
out.
corrupted the goddamn file, so now we have to do it all over again.
Sam forgot to hit the fucking record button.
I clicked record. It's fine.
Oh, Sam. Engineer Sam hit record, dumbass.
I did.
I mean, some of these
anyways.
I think are gonna be pretty quick.
I think
Yeah.
so too.
So
Let's
let's
just go in a row since you're mine. Let's go with
D.
Dash IO here.
Riptide is actually higher than I think we put him last time.
Yeah,
I think we put him at C.
I think
think
he
we
was
put
at
him
D
B
last
or
time. I
C.
think he's playable now.
I think we had him at C,
I
but
think we
I'm
put him
actually
at
okay
B.
with putting him at B actually.
4 wins is good. I mean, well, wait. Hold
We're
on.
talking before he gets the new cards, though. Keep that in mind.
Yeah, he got 4
Before
wins.
we
I
put him
still
at
Oh,
B,
true,
though.
true. You're right.
Before we put him at B with 4 wins, Tekla Boston got 5 wins. So does that make Tekla Boston at B too?
No. I just think if there's a meta deck right now in Kano that literally makes the game unwinnable for him, there's no way he can be classified as playable.
Is he up a tier then?
Maybe I'll put him at C.
That's
I mean,
fine.
5 wins is bad. I mean, that's more wins than fucking Azuri and Bravo. I mean, not to say that Bravo or Azuri are good, but Azuri at least has been known to at least get some fucking wins. Azuri, there's a lot of people that are fucking hot on her right now. There's a lot of people that I think that are saying that she is going to be a really good deck in the game. I think you put her at the same tier as Riptide right now. You might say that.
Yeah, I think
you might say that
playable.
she is like A minus.
I think playable because she counters one of the best decks in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Probably high B tier.
Is this
Dash
high or is this
probably
High?
Highest to the
left. Yeah, left.
Like here?
Dash is probably B tier. It's
Sam
cool
is
that you
always
could
high on
switch
Dash.
I think Dash
Yeah,
is
he
really,
is
really
for
good
sure.
right now. Because guess who's one
I
of the
like-
best decks in the game? Prism. Guess who counters Prism? Dash.
But I mean, Azalea is also
That
one of
is
the best decks in the game, and Azalea is pretty solid against Dash.
True, but she can also block like a motherfucker.
I feel like you're overestimating how much Dash actually blocks. Every single time I play against a Dash, they never block.
Well, that's because they're running boost dash, but you can run like unmovable dash. Like you can run literally pure tank dash.
Yeah, maybe fatigue Dash is a little bit higher, but I mean, I think boost Dash is probably.
I think playable is the right word for her.
That's
Arachne,
Arachne.
D. Don't need to talk about it. Even though he did get at least one win.
Is he D?
Yes, he's D.
Yes. He
Hey,
does
put
counter
Betsy at D
Azalea.
tier, too.
Maybe there's an option here.
S plus.
Betsy.
Put Betsy at D tier.
Is Arachne?
No other
Is
reason- no
Arachne
other
above or
reason
below
to
dash?
play.
Is
I put it
Betsy.
above. I put it above.
Is
I put it
Betsy
above.
below all of them?
Yes.
Yeah,
Max-
for sure. Betsy.
Max needs his own tier because he's so fucking terrible.
Max is better than Betsy for sure.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
There are
Yes, he
cards in the
is.
game that literally are
Oh
like
my God.
roll a dice, the other player loses
you-
the game.
Are we real? Let's not. It's fucking Betsy. It's Betsy.
Max
We're
is
talking
better.
about
Max is
Betsy.
better. Max is better
Max is
solely because he does
100%
well in the
better.
Guardians.
Okay, sure.
Oh, now that Jordan says that he's fine with it, but when I say it, it's
Well,
the
do you
fuck,
see?
man.
Jordan actually gave valid reasoning. You were like, he's better than Betsy. He's better than Betsy. And then Jordan's like, yeah, he is because of this. You know what I mean? Olympia.
Oh, and you're like, oh, what? I just needed someone
Olympia-
to say it.
I
but
don't
I
mind
can't think of it
Olympia.
myself.
I
Shut the
when
fuck
I
up,
think
Bryce.
of Tekla right now, I don't think Tekla's as good as Olympia.
Really?
No, I don't think Olympia's as good as Tekla.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't
yeah,
think they
yeah,
can be on the
yeah,
same
yeah,
tier.
yeah,
Either
yeah.
Tekla has to go up or Olympia has to go down.
I'm okay with
Well,
this.
as soon as that card comes out, though,
I'm
for
okay
him,
with- I'm okay with
so hot
Olympia
on
at
that
D.
spec, dude.
When Olympia actually starts getting play, I'll probably figure out how he actually plays. But I literally have no idea anything about Olympia because of how little representation he has
I
right
think
now.
FaB is C. 5
Olympia's
FaB,
the
however you wanna
only
say it.
hero that can wager at instant speed. Combo
True.
that with double
I
down
think-
and multiple copies of that helmet, man, he might be pretty good.
You know what?
It'll be
I think
good.
FaB is just as good as Boost Dash.
Fuck no.
You're an
No,
you're an
I
idiot.
think
You're an
I
idiot.
think Boost
no.
Dash.
Idiot.
I think Boost
No.
Dash is.
Let it be known, Mal has never played FaB in the last year.
Yeah,
Ever?
true. Very true. Very true. Very true.
Also, guess
It's
what?
been about a
Guess what
year.
the top deck does? Absolutely shits on FaB.
It's on Dash
we
too.
can't bring up who's playing heroes, Jordan. You played one hero for a year and a half.
That's not true.
That is
That's
true.
not
That
true.
is
I
true.
played-
You played
I-
Bravo
I
straight.
played
not play another
Bolton.
hero
I
for
played
so
Bolton.
long.
I played Bolton.
You played
Jordan,
Bolton for like
Jordan,
2 weeks.
I played
Jordan,
Bolton.
you never
I
took
played
them to any
Dory.
armories or anything. You took Dorinthia and Bolton to armories. I'm pretty sure that was it.
I'm gonna put
Bolton
Reiner
was
at
a
A.
tweak, man. I like A for Reiner.
Okay,
I like
but
A for
Mal
Reiner,
also
too.
has a strong opinion on FaB, who no one sees FaB. No one sees a
Nope.
hero.
Nope.
I just feel like she's just as good as Dash.
Okay, he doesn't even know the right gender, let alone the fucking tier he goes in.
Whatever, man. I think he's just as good as Dash.
Vincent. I'm gonna.
Vincent's
Right
like
here.
low B. I'd say
C,
low
low C.
Low C?
C.
No, he's better than Teklo.
The fuck no.
All right,
No.
fair enough. How about there?
Wait.
Teklo's out here,
Hold
Teklo's out here
on,
getting
hold on.
5
Chaos
wins.
You're
Indeed.
right,
Teklo's out here
actually.
getting 5 wins.
You're right. I'll put her.
D.
Let it be known, Bryson only thinks that because of one player in our local that shit on him, so he thinks Vincent's better than what she is.
Yep.
But to
I
be-
think-
Well,
Vincent can do some
I
crazy
tried that
stuff
'cause they
as well.
they're a really good they're
Yeah,
a really
let that
good
be known.
player, and I think he is a specialist, or
Yeah.
they're a specialist on
Yeah.
that list, and yeah, I just think that most of the people on Talasar aren't as good as they are, honestly.
How
so
do we feel about Bravo
I
at the
think
bottom of
we
B?
put him at low C, but
Again, he didn't win that many Proquests, and
Listen,
I think he's
call
fine.
this a hot
I think he's
take.
fine B.
Call this a hot take.
Oh god.
I am high as fuck on Tekla right now.
really,
I looked at some of the lists. I am high as fuck on
so you're
Tekla.
thinking like what, like this?
wow.
Yeah, and with him getting 5 wins, it's not even just me just being blind. Like, he's converting.
True.
In this slower meta, he's converting.
But the thing is, Kano literally like just beats him. Like it's
Yes,
literally like a
that I
sweep.
agree. Yes, if there are a lot of Kanos in your local, you would not want to take
But
Tekla.
okay, yeah, you know what? I'm with you because I'm playing on my Silas. I literally don't run AB, so I will also be
Yeah.
a scoop against Kano, and I don't. And I think Kasai
I think
is
it's
an
fine
S
to have
tier.
one auto loss matchup and still be decent.
Yeah. Do you think he's better than Riptide?
No.
There's an argument.
I would say
But
there's an
I'm
argument.
also high on
I don't
Riptide.
think he's consistent
there's an
enough to be
argument.
good as good as Riptide, right?
I
But
mean,
you're
we're
just praying-
putting Tegla
You're just
Boston
preying on
over.
singularities when there's so much card
I
destruction.
think Bryson hopped off the Tekla train right before it
He
fucking got
did.
good.
He did. Maybe he's just
Well,
not
all
quite good
my
enough to
cool
play
heavy
it.
hitters. Oh, get bent. You know, we're talking.
Okay.
Oh,
Are we okay?
Oh,
Do we think
God.
Bravo is below Riptide, above Riptide? Do we think he's in C? Do we think he's in B? Do we think he's in X?
There, no,
I think he's
everyone's playing
playable.
Victor right now that I just don't know where Bravo goes.
Bravo's in B tier somewhere. I just
I think
don't know where it is.
I think he's in B tier. I think he still has access to a lot of great crush effects. I don't think he shines a lot because of Victor, but I still think he's playable if you really think.
Oh,
There's some of his
My
specializations
other
are so
win
good,
was
too.
against Pure Fatigue Bravo, and that
Oh.
was I'm gonna be honest, one of the easier wins of my life because I just chipped him down and waited for my hand to be triple Lumina, and then I killed him.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You triple Lumina
Yes,
him?
I did triple Lumina him on combo. Yeah.
Oh
Yep.
god.
Oh, jeez, that sounds.
Honestly, let's give Riptide some
horrible.
respect. He's better than Bravo.
No,
No.
I can't believe that we're putting Tekla Boston
No,
over Bravo
no,
right
He
no.
now.
won
How?
5 events.
He won 5 events.
But I think
I
that's
just
because
think
it's a
that's
prison. I think it's
Honestly?
dependent on the.
No, I'm not kidding.
low hero
I'm high as fuck on
representation.
Tekla right now.
Jordan's
Maybe
he
it's just
keeps
low
going
hero
up.
representation.
He had
keeps
5
going up.
wins.
No way he's in the same one as Reinar. He has to be B.
Is he better than?
Let's just put him.
Hell no, he's not better than Azuri or Dash.
I think
There's
he's
no
better than
way.
Azuri. I think he's better than Azuri.
Oh,
So what do we think about-
no
what do we think about
way
this?
you think that. There's
No,
no
he's better than
way.
Dash,
I'm
but-
sorry, that's insane.
So you think
No
this.
way he's
I
better than
know.
Azuri and Dash.
There's
Why?
no way
Wait,
that we're
this,
doing
okay,
that.
give me a reason why he's not. Give me a reason why he's not.
I feel like he's
Oh my
not really
God,
a
because
hero
you
without
could say-
singularities.
Yes,
Not true.
exactly. You're
But
basing
you
the
played-
win
you
off
played
of
for that
base
win con.
singularity.
You played for
Azuri
that
is
win
still
con.
a playable deck.
But with all the heroes that have card destruction, is it really worth playing for that one single
You
win
pitch
con?
it, you pitch it, and you play it later.
And you just block everything.
Oh, so
Hopefully they
you
don't
Yes,
get your
wait
equipment.
another
Yes,
equip-
that
you
is how you
equip
play
block
Riptide.
for you to
You
get
equip,
it
block, and play
again.
your tanks.
I'm a Jordan.
Oh
Even though I'm high on
no,
dash,
there's
even though
no
I'm high
way.
on dash,
You know
I'm
what?
high as fuck on Rip or
No,
on Teklo
It's a
now.
middle
dude,
disagreement. Put them right in the
And
middle of
listen,
them two.
this is not just me speaking.
Right there.
If Bryson does not take Teklo, you may catch me playing
not
Teklo
A.
soon.
He's
just
right
let that be
there.
said.
Put him right
Okay.
there. Put him right
here?
there. That's fine. Yep, it's a
Yo,
disagreement
there's
between
no
that.
way.
Put him in the middle.
Bryson's he's just
Maybe
yapping
switch
right now.
Azuri and Dash.
I will be
Yo, the
practicing
fact
Teklo
that
following this
Azuri isn't at
podcast.
the
Yeah,
top
yeah,
of B
perfect,
tier,
perfect.
Azuri needs to be at the top of B tier.
There you
alright,
go. That's
right now.
perfect.
Teklo's
That's
better.
fine.
Teklo's better, but we'll let them have it. It's fine.
I'm
I
fine with
just can't
that.
believe that.
Honestly,
I just can't believe that.
Teklo
Bro.
might fuck around and be a wild card. I'm gonna be honest.
he keeps getting
Oh,
higher. He keeps getting
No,
higher.
why are you getting so
Azalea's
high
level,
on
bro.
it? How
Put it
did
at
you
Teklo
get better?
and Azalea.
Because listen, there's not many Teklo players. He converted to 5 wins. 5 wins?
Yeah. How many people
That's
were playing
insane.
Teklo? There were probably
I
5
don't know,
people playing
maybe
him.
there was more than we think.
For all we
know,
saw one
He had a
at local
100%
armory.
conversion rate. Let's be honest, he probably had a 100% conversion rate.
Well, one was at
No,
our
there was
local
one
he
at our
didn't
armory
convert,
and he
so
did not.
Oh shit. Okay, yeah, you're right.
he might
But he actually top 8 at the Mayhem event, though.
Yeah.
So he
exactly.
played-
More reason that Teklo might be A.
He's
That's
not
just
A, guys.
that's
No,
just a
he's
world
not.
we have to live
No,
into.
Stop. This is insane.
In the
I think
current
he's got to be B. I think he's
No,
got
in
to
the
be
current
B.
turtle meta, he might be A.
He might be A.
No, dude.
Even
People are gonna
though
look at this and be like,
Most
what
of the top
fuck?
decks, I feel like kind of shit on him. Azalea
No,
shits on him.
no, but he I guarantee he shits on Victor. Victor is not able to kill
True.
him before he
100%. I agree with it. He eats Guardians alive.
Anybody who goes wide will shit down his throat, though.
But we even saw one beat a Katsu. He was just able to equip early.
Freak things happen, man.
But you even
Freak
said in
things
your
happen.
game, Mal, when you played him, that if
Yeah.
he's able to equip early, which is not terribly hard for Teklo.
No.
Blue equipment, yes it is. If you're planning
half
on
his decks are blue.
like even in that one game where he equipped it early, he still started the game out at like 26 health when I had 40.
Yeah.
And that was him
Well,
equipping
Azalea
a
is
blue every
busted.
turn. Every turn he was equipping a blue.
Did he
So in those
singularity
turns where
you?
you're not getting those
Did he
single
singularity
blues.
you?
Did he block
Yeah,
out?
at the end he singularity'd at the
Yeah.
end. Yeah.
And then did he win?
Yeah, he won that one.
Oh,
That's what
okay.
I'm saying. But what I'm saying is the odds of that happening is so low. The amount of Teklovasans I've played against and just completely destroyed them
Probably
before they
probably
got to
one.
that point.
Yeah, but how many of them actually knew what they were doing? Like, legitimately, how many of them were like, I know this hero?
Okay, well then you can't use any Talishar stats because half the people probably don't know what they're doing.
Exactly! We're not using Talzar stats.
We're not
using
putting him at.
Proquest.
There's no way that he's on the
There's
same.
no
fucking
way
tier
he's
as
above.
Reinhardt.
There's no way he's above Reinhardt.
How do we feel about this?
I hate it.
No,
I hate it.
no,
he's
no,
at,
no,
he's
no.
on. I hate that we.
I
we're
think
putting
he's
him
a
on
wild.
C
I think when
tier.
I think wild card, I think Teklo.
That's fair. That's fair.
Oh
Is he
my
not the
God.
definition of a wild card in the current meta?
In Jordan's
Hey.
defense,
But like,
he is a
but
wild
we're-
card. But
He's
I don't
a
know.
wild card, but wild card and A tier are two different things.
Yeah, yeah.
He's a good wild card.
Fuck.
He converted the
What the
5
fuck?
wins.
It's not.
He converted the 5 wins.
I know,
Oh,
Jordan.
God.
I know.
I just don't know.
What about this?
No, I
He's
disagree.
somewhere around there.
Let's put him at the
yeah,
highest
just
of
You know
B.
what? Let's throw out the highest and B.
No, he's A. He's A, but it's fine.
Jordan
He's A,
convinced
but
me.
it's
He's
fine.
A. Let's
Okay.
move on.
Okay.
Oh
Next
my
hero.
God.
Bolton?
We're gonna fucking put heroes above him that don't deserve it, and it's gonna be insane,
Bolton-
dude. I can't.
Bolton is A tier, but I think he's in this meta, he's lower A.
I think he's better than Teklo.
Okay.
Oh
I
my God,
agree.
that's high praise. That's high
I agree.
Yo, what?
praise.
No, stop.
What, you
He's
don't
not
think-
better than Bolton.
I mean, how many
dude.
wins
We
did he
just
convert
said-
to?
No, Bolton's better than Teklo.
Yeah.
How many wins did he convert to, Sam?
6?
Can we look at the graphic real
7?
quick?
Barely more than Teklo, dude.
6, yeah.
Dude, it's a debate.
I
Honestly,
think no. Okay, listen. Teklo is good as fuck, but I don't want my opinion to become troll. Bolton is better than Teklo.
I agree.
Okay, cool.
I agree.
Yeah, I
mean, at
think
least
Bolton's
we're
more
cooling off
consistent
a
than
bit.
Teklo.
But Bolton in this
No,
current
we're not
meta,
cooling off
holy
at all.
shit,
Teklo's
some of
good as
his
fuck.
some of these matchups against like the top decks are just miserable.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the same thing with Teklo too, though.
Katsu, I'm okay with like right here.
Honestly, I'm okay with him at top of A. I don't know if he's S
Yep.
anymore.
I don't think he's either.
I think we put Reinar above Katsu, honestly.
Yeah, honestly, I might put Reinar above Katsu too. I would also.
Games versus Reinar to say that, but I think Katsu's.
I fuck with that.
I think
I
top
like
Katsu
Reinar
players
over.
are still better.
I think Reinar has the ability to fatigue and has the ability to do extremely high damage turns, whereas Katsu
That's
is
Blood Rush Bello,
solely
baby.
based off of hitting one combo on repeat.
Yep.
I think Reinar just is gonna give the more consistent values
Sure.
there.
I mean, Reinar could pretty much be a great matchup into like almost every deck in the game. Like destroys mech. Like if you play it like Guardian, run reactions, you're gonna be great into Azalea. You're gonna be great into like a lot of these different. I mean,
I still think
even
the
into
best
like
Katsu
fucking.
player will be better than Reinar.
I don't know. I've seen some crazy
I think
Reinars,
Katsu's a
man.
specialized class. Like what I saw him do at the calling was, I mean, when he's pouted by someone who only played Katsu, like some of the lines you'll just like never think of if you just don't.
I'm honestly okay with either of them at top of A.
I think we do Reinar above. We do Reinar above. We gave you guys Teklavasana. We gave you guys Teklavasana at A. We put Reinar above.
Reinar
Viscerai?
Teklavasana at A makes me want to fucking. I have no
Say
idea. It's just
What?
vomit.
Why? Because you're
it's-
not good at him. He's bad. That's all right.
Well, who said I wasn't good at him when I play fucking Max over and over again?
Let's play Victor versus Teklo after the podcast is over. And we'll report next week how that goes.
God.
Ooh.
We just said that Victor's gonna be a
We'll
whole.
report next week how that goes.
He's backpedaling again. That's crazy.
Oh
I'm gonna
my
put Viscerai bottom of B. How do we feel about this?
I think he's better than Bravo.
You think in here?
I think you underrate Bravo. I think you underrate Bravo. I'll be honest.
Him. Literally, no one's playing him.
Yeah, because he's not getting player. He's not getting played.
We're really underrating
Viscerai's there
him.
too. Viscerai's there too. We're just talking about the comparison between those two.
But if we look at what happened in Atlanta, there was 2 in the top 8.
Yeah, but we're not going off what is Atlanta. We're going off constructed wins and how the character plays.
That's a recent event that we have to look at.
Big event. And he got
Okay, this is a recent big event, and he got 0.
There were 2. Again, there were 2 at one of our ProQuests in the top 8.
Yeah, okay, so but we're looking at the ProQuest week 2, and there's 0 there. I feel like if you're really thinking about what Bravo can do.
Also, listeners, let it be known Mal was venting that he lost to a Bravo earlier, so that's where this is coming from.
No, I really think Bravo. You're really underrating Bravo. I think it's because he gets outshined by Victor, because all Guardian players are playing Victor. But I think Bravo still has so many access to so many good crush abilities, and the ability to dominate really puts him above.
If we recorded this about 3 hours earlier, Matt would be like, "Yeah, he's C tier."
Yeah.
No. Bravo's not C tier.
But I do think Viscerai's.
We moved Teklavasana up too.
I think he could go either way, but in my opinion,
I do think Viscerai is better than Bravo. I think he is.
Yeah.
All right. I'll give
How do we feel about this?
That's fine. No, put it back.
I think Viscerai's top of B, but it's fine.
We put Kano at Kano's not top 3 decks in the game, but he is top 5 decks in the game.
Put him at A. Put him at the top of wild card.
Kano?
No, I think I'm at the bottom of S.
You know how many people, like especially Warriors, just aren't running AB because they're like, "Fuck it, this matchup's already unwinnable."
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah,
it's
he could
literally
be at S.
crazy. That's insane.
The only problem
people
that
have to
he's
fucking
currently
do
running
that.
into is that Prism is an unwinnable.
Prism is
matchup.
legitimately unwinnable for him.
So if he does see one in top A, I mean, he will never convert. But if you don't run into a Prism, you will be most likely fine.
I think if you can beat every deck in the game but one, you have to be S tier.
I think he's a hero like
even
Katsu,
it's
where
the
the better
bottom
the
S
player,
tier.
the better he looks.
Yep.
Very
Prism,
true.
I'm good at this.
Yeah,
I know Mao's
think
gonna
Prism-
say, "Well, I think he's better than Azalea."
We need to
because-
talk about 3 heroes, okay? We need to talk about 3
I don't think the
heroes
gap is
here.
big, but I think she's
Because
there.
last week, I think Azalea, you could probably firmly say that she was the best deck in the game. Now, I think we're floating between 3 heroes, one of them being Azalea, and the other 2 being Prism and KO, dude. I feel like people can just pick up KO and be like, "Oh, I'm good at the game," and we just even talked about it with Mao. The number 1 person going into the top 8 was a KO player, and he didn't even know what Azalea's cards did. So it's just, I feel like KO is super good for the pure reason is that not anyone, but most people could pick him up and could beat the best decks in the game. Prism, Prism could do some of the fucking weirdest and just unfair shit in the game. Azalea can't fucking loop in a fucking being that just exists, and you can only attack that for the whole game. Like
The thing
that,
is, that is the only deck that has the capability of countering Azalea. So Mao automatically thinks Prism is better than Azalea because
Oh, I'm
Prism
not
is
saying.
Azalea's
Oh
one
my
worst matchup.
god.
Azalea's
That's not
one bad
true.
matchup, and they're like, well, they have to be the best.
That's
hero
not
in the
even
game.
and it's still
true.
winnable. And it's still winnable.
It's
Bravo's a
still
terrible matchup as
winnable.
well.
you guys
And
are
it's
forgetting.
very, very
Who
seldom
the
winnable.
fuck is playing Bravo?
There's no way to
Same.
tech into the loop, right?
Yeah,
There's no
is.
way to tech into
There
Prism.
is,
Not
there
really.
is.
You
Time
use
skippers,
the
time
boots.
skippers.
There
Time
are like
skippers,
fucking
time
3
snap
or 4
potion.
ways to tech into the Azalea matchup that are
That
viable,
works
that
for
are
one
available
turn.
for other matchups.
You only need one turn.
Unless you don't pop the angels, they just throw their whole hand.
Target the angel.
Okay, so then they're just gonna ALS next turn after they attack you with a different angel. They have 3 of the copies of the angel. They can do it multiple
No, they
times.
don't. They have one copy of the angel, Mao.
No, it's 1 copy of the Angel, 3 copies of Arc.
Oh, ALS. Okay, never mind.
Oh God!
Anyways,
I play the
think
game,
You're right.
man.
You're right.
It's,
You're right.
I
You're
think
right.
just coming from a purely unbiased stand view of the Azalea v Prism, who's better? I think Prism player, and kind of matching up to the Katsu argument of, oh, there's specialist
he's
heroes
getting
on
riled
here,
up.
so shut the fuck up, Sam. Cut that. Anyways,
What's
Prism's
he
good.
rambling on about?
Oh, he's yapping. Okay, go
Let
on.
it be known, Bryson
Oh
does
my
love the
God.
monologue.
I think Azalea might be a little bit better.
Bro.
I think the specialists for Prism, people who specialize in Prism, make that huge gap you guys are saying there is between Prism and Azalea.
Who
much,
said there's a
much
huge
smaller.
gap?
Well,
Nobody
you're
said
making it
there's a
seem
huge
like
gap.
Azalea is crazy better than Prism.
No, we're
It's
not.
Maybe it's so close. I honestly could think about them both being literally on the same tier.
Here's the thing about Prism. Look, Bolton counters, Dash counters, Teklevossen maybe counters. Viscerai counters. Fucking Dash IO and Max counters. Who
Okay,
counters
but who's
Azalea?
bringing-
Prism.
Who's bringing Max and Dash IO?
Hey, if it's a Prism heavy meta, who knows? Who knows?
I think
if
if you're
Viscerai, Vincent, Dash IO, Max, all those motherfuckers that you just named, no one is playing those heroes.
But if Prism's hot,
I think if you're talking strictly counters, Azalea can be above Prism, but I honestly feel like they should be on the same tier.
well, we'll just
That's
have to
just my
disagree
opinion.
on that. Moving on, Kasai, I think is an S.
Yeah.
She's
Agreed.
below Kano. Simply, Kasai is so consistent. She can struggle with like racing because a standard turn for her is 7 damage if you're gonna go like 2 into Blade Runner into 5. But she has those huge pop-off turns. I think she's really good. A lot of Kasai players aren't even running AV. They're just like, Kano's gonna beat me. That's fine. I'm okay with that. But
Yeah.
I think she's S simply because she's so consistent and can block really fucking well.
Agreed.
No comments from the fucking peanut gallery about that one?
Don't care.
I'm still stuck on the fact that Prism and Azalea aren't on the same
What do we
same
think
tier.
about where's Victor at? Is he
Yeah,
here?
I
Is he
think
here? Or
honestly,
is he
Mal, I
here?
think Prism is the
I think he's
best
top
deck
of
in the
us.
game, and I think these two are really salty from just fucking losing constantly against.
Yeah, I think
Azalea.
they have to hate it because I play it. I'm not gonna lie.
Everybody loses constantly against Azalea.
That is how
I
this
think
group
they-
works for sure.
I think they
yeah.
have to
Everybody
hate it 'cause I
loses
play it.
constantly against
So
Azalea.
let it be known, I have
They have
I
to
have a-
play it.
a way high win rate versus Mal on Azalea, and I still think it's the best hero in the game.
Yeah.
I
You have a
still think
what?
it's the best hero in the game.
It's because maybe you guys aren't playing Prism.
Are you talking about when you played Bravo, which
Or
counters
Dawnblade Dory,
Azalea?
or Dawnblade Dory.
When
I
did
think
we
you know-
play the Dawnblade Dory
I think-
matchup recently?
A lot.
I think you guys need to go into Talasar and specifically play into the Prism matchup, and then see. Like it's
Play
fucking.
against
I
Prism.
got ALS.
Yeah.
I got ALS
Bryson.
and fucking Scoop.
Bryson,
Why do you
Bryson.
think Azalea is better
Bryson!
if that is what happens to you?
Bryson, Prism is miserable to play against. That being said, I would rather play against Prism than Azalea. As a Bolton player, I mean, that's understandable, but Azalea, the counterplay is blocking with your whole hand. And then guess what? She attack reacts for free. Why the fuck do Rangers have an instant speed +2 that costs 0? It doesn't block for anything. They don't fucking ever need to block because the opponent never has fucking cards in their hands.
Okay, but how can you complain about that without putting the relevance of Prism in that same situation, but defensively when you're having a pop-off turn and they just
no
ALS?
One's saying they're not both busted. They're both.
So put them on the same tier. Why are they on separate tiers?
Because the amount of decks, there are multiple
Because you hate playing against
No, that's not true.
There are multiple decks that hard counter Prism. There are no decks besides if Prism gets ALS out that hard counter Azalea.
Hard
really? What about
Azuri,
Victor,
Azuri, anybody that runs
fatigue.
D-reacts hard counters.
Okay,
Azalea.
You saw how it went against Dory.
Then
you
I'll
saw
use...
how it went against Bravo. Literally, there's so many counters to it if you're just playing defensively. That's literally... Even Teklo can win the matchup.
No, the fuck he can't.
We just talked about how Teklo can win the matchup. Did
you
we
just
not?
said it has to be okay, you know what? You know what? He's moving up. He's moving up. He's moving up. He's up to S.
All right. I don't think we're not gonna get that one resolved. Let's move on to the next.
It's okay. It's okay. Even though they're on the same tier.
We saw what one of the best players in the world can do on Azalea. He won back-to-back fucking events on Azalea. Back-to-back. We're not seeing that from Prism.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Please tell me when Prism wins that many events and her conversion rate is even close to Azalea's. Please tell me.
We'll see. I think we're gonna see it.
We saw Brody Spurlock fly on 0 hours of sleep, go to the Calling Phuket, and win it on Azalea.
Brody's
built different.
Genius.
Brody's built different.
Wow, it's crazy. It's like when the best deck is in the hero, one of the best players he wins.
Yeah, it's crazy that one of the best players in the world is attracted to the best hero in the world. Isn't that crazy how the best player wants to play the best deck?
back when Azalea wasn't the best deck, right when Outsiders came out,
he was one of the best
playing
decks.
Azalea.
Yeah,
not the best deck. If he gravitated towards the best deck, he would have played something else.
And he put an Amplifying Arrow, which other Azaleas were just not.
He went into Amplifying Arrow. He put Amplifying Arrow in that video. He talked about how it was something that he hated at first.
Okay.
He just tried it one day, and he was like, you know what?
He won multiple events with it.
He
won multiple events with it.
And also,
I still think we are severely underrating the fact that Prism has the best card in the game in ALS.
Let's just move on to the next one.
Best card in the game.
That's insane.
Okay, do we want to talk about a deck that counters Prism that has the highest play rate? Fucking KO. KO shits on Prism. Absolutely shits on him. And he's the most played deck in the game. That's why Prism is not on the same tier as Azalea.
Yep.
That right there is why not.
Oh, look, another Prism counter.
Not just another one, the most played deck in the game.
The most played deck in the game counters Prism.
Warmonger's Diplomacy started getting teched back in the decks again, and the wins are going to go way down for Azalea.
I agree with that. I agree with that. But as it stands right now, I think this. And oh no, Azalea has to take one turn off, and she still threatens a fucking disgusting on hit. Oh
Except for it's not just one turn when you're playing against Prism. Against Prism, it's so many.
We're talking about fucking Warmongers, you dunce.
Warmongers is crazy too, man.
Levia.
Okay, let's speak. Can I speak about Levia for a little bit? Levia low S tier. Not a lot of players are going to pick up Levia because of just the mechanics. The mechanics are really cool, but I feel like Blood Debt.
Isn't that another hero that counters Prism? Okay, that's weird. Okay, yeah.
Okay, I feel like I honestly wonder if we talk to like actual like high level pro players, like what they think about it, because like I honestly think a lot of them are going to lean towards like either KO or Prism more than Azalea.
How many big events Prism has won recently. Go ahead and find me one.
Recently they haven't, because I mean it's only been around. I mean you could say like 5 of these fucking heroes have just been like in this new meta, then they're up and they're just now getting up into the S tier. Prism is one of them. Like it's a newer thing. Like I don't think any of us expected to see that many of them there, but she counters. I mean, she plays so well into so many different decks. Like that's the thing. You don't even have to have You don't even have to have like a fucking game plan to win as Prism if you get the loop off. Like, there's no game plan with that. It's just the loop. Like, you could have a bad matchup as Prism, and like, how does the fucking loop stop itself without killing the angel? Like, I think you guys are underrating the loop.
No, the fuck
Oh,
we're
I'm not
not.
underrating the loop.
But-
Who the fuck is underrating the loop?
I am not underrating the
Who
loop.
the fuck is underrating the loop?
Let's just keep it the way it is. I think Prism is a wild card.
Oh,
like in
okay.
the situation.
Wild card.
Not in that sense. I'm saying
See,
in the
we're
sense that
fucking
if she's better than if she's better than or on the same tier as Azalea, I think it's
Alright.
I think
She
it's
can't
just
be.
up
She
in
can't
the
be.
air.
When
I
look,
think it just
counter.
I think it's a
Counter.
toss up between 3
Counter.
Azalea, KO.
Counter.
Yeah, but on
Prism.
Azalea you can say counter Prism, counter Victor, counter Teklevossen.
The Prism is not a counter with Murkmire.
Nope.
Prism, it's still a counter with Murkmire.
Nope.
Are you a psychopath?
Nope.
Nope. Moving on, Dory. Hatchet Dory, I believe, is high S. Also, Decimator Great Axe Dory. The most soulless, empty
Yeah.
deck in the game.
Yes.
Agreed.
Okay.
Maybe there, honestly.
I think it's S.
I'm okay with either.
I think it's S plus.
Okay,
yeah,
sure.
S plus is fine.
We gotta wrap
It's
this up,
Alright,
Dory.
boys.
Like,
We gotta wrap
There
this up,
you
boys.
have it, folks. Here's the tier list. Teklevossen, I think, is highly overrated.
Nope.
And it sounds like it's a pretty stiff argument between who the best deck in the game is. Too bad there's only one person that can control the screen, right, guys?
Very true.
Rustin, your tier list would look so fucked up. If we just let you run free with the tier list, it'd be fucked.
So not true, dude. That's so not true. How is it fucked? I'm giving good takes. Like that, I'm saying it's a toss up between the 3 best decks in the game. There's so many ways to counter into Azalea, and everybody can do them. So it's not like you have to be a specific hero to counter Azalea. Anyone can run Warmonger's Diplomacy. So
True. And then
anyone can run
Heroes
D-Reacts.
can just run half the heroes can just stuff D-Reacts in their deck.
With that being
Right.
said, this is one of many episodes, so be on the lookout for future episodes.
Yes, very true. I think this is a good first episode. I mean, if we had Jordan and Sam run this tier list,
Let us know your
Teklevossen
feedback
would
in the
be
comments.
S+ tier. So
Yeah,
look out for
Teklevossen might
for
be
this.
S plus if Sam.
Let
Yeah,
us know
no,
what you think. Where do you guys put Tekla? And
Yeah.
where's
Right.
Azalea and
We got
Prism?
some
What do you
fun
guys think of that?
stuff coming up. We got some fun stuff coming up with these new episodes. Some good ideas. Let us know if you want us to talk about anything.
let us know if
let
Teklo
us
is
know.
S+ or S tier, because I
Sure.
can't decide.
Let us know. I want to know about the Teklo argument, and I want to know about the Azalea argument. Is she the best deck in the
Yes.
game currently? Is Prism or KO making an argument for
KO is a better
or,
argument than Prism for best deck in
that.
the game.
Thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching, everyone. Peace.